Welcome back to Jake's Amp Garage. And on the bench today, we got something a little bit special. Well, some people consider it a little bit special. Got a Marshall Silver Jubilee 100 watt head. I've got the matching 4x12 cab here as well. Both of them came out of a recording studio in Melbourne. I believe they were there from brand new. They're in really good condition. I've fired them up. They sound great. The new owner has brought them into me to give them a once over, just like a health check. Whether that's good or bad, but this thing does need a repair. I don't know if you guys can see this. The presence knob is missing. That's because the shaft is snapped off. The pot is jammed. It won't budge. Just like the 58 Maton reissue that I had the guitar jack that wouldn't budge. This is now the second job that I've got where something won't budge, and you guys can watch that video either here or here, wherever. So I'm going to make that repair. After I pull out, I'm going to pull out the chassis, desolder the pot, measure it, just to double check the value. I believe it's a 22K, which is kind of a little bit unusual, but anyway, we'll check that. I got to order the pot as well. The owner tried drilling out what was left of the shaft that was stuck in the pot and kind of mangled the pot, so that has to be ordered as well. But first, what I'm going to do is the obligatory fuse check. We all know just because an amp will fire up doesn't mean that the fuses are the right value. Guitarists will often put in a larger value fuse than what's supposed to be in there after one of the fuses blows. So the amp will still work, but there could be a fault condition in there. So we'll check that first, and then we'll go from there. Screwdriver. Oh, hang on, here we go. So what we're going to do is check the HT fuse first, which I think is a 1 amp, and then we'll check the mains fuses next, and that is a, let's see here, 250 volt 1 amp. So far so good. And then we'll check the mains fuses next. Let's see if we can get that out. Okay. Move this a little bit out of the way to poke through the bottom. Get these out. I don't know if the drawer is stuck or it just doesn't want to come out or whatever the reason is. That's correct. We have another one here. Oops. And this one is run the wrong way. 250 volts. That's correct as well. Put that back in. Okay. Now, what do we got in here? We've got Phillips. Going to get that this back grill off, and then we'll pull the chassis up. Let's see. Okay. Now, I've said in the past, don't ever use this electric screwdriver when you're removing grills or chassis out of an amp, because they could pop out of the screw and scroll through the Tolex. This thing is an old school electric drill screwdriver, which I have to change this out, but it's ultra low torque. If the screw is in a bit too tight, it won't even turn it. It does have a bit of torque, no doubt, but it's not like the modern day electric screwdrivers. This runs on NiCad batteries. There's 3, I think they're called sub-C batteries in there, and it doesn't have anywhere near the torque of these modern screwdrivers. So we'll change this out. It has a slow setting and a slow setting. That's all it's got. make sure we use the right size. Yeah, we've got 2 of them here. That's definitely it. Maybe you guys can tell me this. I believe, which is what I've heard, that Marshall had swapped its transformers for Vietnamese transformers, and I'm not sure if that's true of this one, but they did leave the part numbers the same, which, if that's true, it's kind of disingenuous. Not a big fan of any company doing that, really. Let's get my jar here. And get my anything that we don't need. We'll throw that out. Put the screws in here. These are all machine screws here in the back, which is good to see. As I say that. That one's a bit tight. Don't know what the story is there. Stories with that one. That one's different. Well, that's been out before. Okay. Okay, so nope, we got one more in here. In tight. Did they glue it on the back here? One side is loose, the other one is that is super tight there. What's got what have we got going on over here? I don't want to pull on anything. Let's just put this up. Put this down here like this. Okay. Get a little more room in here. That is super tight. Generally, these things come off pretty easy. Oh, that's glued. That's why. Now, the last thing I want to do is yank on this too hard. I want to make sure I've taken all the screws out. That seems to be glued down. Yep. Also, I'm just going to pry it off very slowly. It's coming slowly, but oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, she's out. Definitely one thing I'll notice right now is just how sharp those corners are. Okay. Let's put her here. There we go. Okay. That's the innards. Well, that's the inside of the Marshall. I'll lower this. Let's see if we can get this done. It's old-fashioned, but it works. Is that better? think that's alright. So, way better. Okay, as I said, it needs a bit of a clean. But other than that, and that presence knob, it's actually in really good condition. That's not going to sit, just to be safe. What I will do is get my blocks. How long have we been running now? 21 minutes. So what I'm going to do, that'll be it for this first bit, because it's already 21 minutes. I'm going to edit out some of that to make it a little bit shorter. As the YouTube gods have told me, 15 minutes is probably the best time for videos, best length of time for videos. And then we'll reconvene with this flipped over and taking a look at the guts of this Marshall Silver Jubilee. So that'll be it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So long for now, bye bye. This is a follow-up video from that first one. I don't know if you guys remember, but one of those screws had a bit of an issue coming out. You can see it there. About a quarter of it or a third of it's shiny. That's the bare metal. That's part of the thread that had the issue. So what I did, before I want to put this back in, after I'm finished with the amp, is I ran this screw through this die. This is a 4mm die, and you can buy a tap and die set relatively inexpensively. This is a good way to fix up a screw that may not be damaged too badly, because sometimes you end up with a set of screws where one is damaged and you can't find a replacement that matches the set that you have. So this is a good way of fixing up a screw. So what I did was I put the screw in as much as I could into the die, like that. Now, I've already done this, but I'm going to show you how I did it. Took a screwdriver, turned it one whole turn, then backed it off a bit, turned it another whole turn, backed it off a bit. Now you may have to do this differently. Sometimes you can only turn it half a turn and you have to back it off a bit, or a 3/4 of a turn. Just depends how badly the thread is damaged. In this case, it wasn't that bad. All it needed was a bit of a cleanup, and I kept going and going and going until I got all the way to the end. Right? As you can see, if you hold it like this, it spins freely. The die spins freely on that screw. Super simple way to do it, and it's better than having to replace a screw or find a matching screw for the set that you have. Now, I haven't done this as yet, but this is the matching tap, 4mm tap. I'm going to run this through the threaded insert in the amp cab just to make sure those threads are nice and clean before I put this screw back in. I thought you guys might find this useful. It's a good way to fix up any screws or any threaded inserts that might have a small issue. Sometimes that's not possible, but it's worth a shot. Anyway, I hope you guys found this useful and enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.